Peppa Pig's house always seemed like a safe place, warm and cozy. But none of its inhabitants even suspected what dark secrets were hidden in the old television in the attic. Peppa plays in her room with her favorite toys. Rain taps against the windows, creating a gloomy atmosphere. Mummy Pig suggests Peppa play in the attic. There are many interesting old things and toys there. Peppa climbs the creaky stairs to the attic. Shadows dance in the corners from the dim light. In the attic stands an old television with a cracked screen. Peppa has never seen it before. Peppa presses the power button on the television. The screen flickers and slowly lights up with greenish light. A strange girl with long black hair appears on screen. She stands with her back to Peppa in a white dress. The girl on screen slowly turns toward Peppa. Her face is hidden behind black hair, only eyes visible. Sadako reaches her hand toward the screen from inside the television. The glass begins to ripple like water from touch. Sadako's hand passes through the screen into the real world. Peppa tries to step back, but her legs won't obey. Sadako slowly emerges from the television, her hair flowing. The room fills with cold and strange sounds. Sadako stands before Peppa, her eyes glowing in the darkness. She reaches her hand toward the frightened pig. Peppa tries to call for Mummy, but her voice disappears. Sadako touches her forehead with cold fingers. Strange images and visions appear in Peppa's head. She sees other children who watched this television. Sadako whispers mysterious words in Peppa's ear. Peppa's eyes become empty and lifeless. Mummy Pig calls Peppa for dinner from downstairs, but Peppa can no longer answer her call. Sadako disappears back into the television, leaving Peppa standing motionless. The screen goes dark with quiet hissing. Mummy Pig climbs to the attic looking for Peppa. She finds her daughter standing before the turned-off television. Peppa turns to Mummy with an empty smile. Her eyes no longer shine with former joy. Mummy Pig doesn't notice the changes in her daughter. They go downstairs for dinner as usual. At dinner, Peppa is silent and stares strangely at everyone. She knows that soon the time will come. At night, Peppa gets up and goes to the television in the living room. She turns it on and waits for Sadako to appear. The familiar figure in white dress appears on screen. Sadako smiles at Peppa through the glass, and they understand each other without words. Madame Gazelle's nursery was always a place of fun and learning. But today a new teacher appeared who hides a dark secret. Peppa and her friends meet Mr. Loki, a tall green man with horns. He says he came to teach them magic. Loki shows children amazing tricks, turning toys into living creatures. Children admire his abilities. Susie Sheep notices that Loki's eyes glow with strange light, but other children are too mesmerized to listen. Loki teaches children spells that change reality around them. Classroom walls begin to distort and move. Madame Gazelle tries to enter classroom, but door disappears. Loki created magical barrier around children. Loki tells children he is God from another world. He came here to find new students. Children begin changing under Loki's magic influence. Their eyes become green like his. Peppa tries to resist, but Loki shows her visions of power. She can control the whole world. George turns his dinosaurs into real monsters. Toys come alive and become dangerous. Loki opens portal to Asgard and shows children World of Gods. There they can become powerful. Children agree to go with Loki, but he laughs with cunning laughter. He deceived them from the beginning. Loki turns children into his servants, depriving them of will. They become puppets in his hands. Reality around school begins crumbling from Loki's magic. Peppa's world distorts and changes. Loki declares himself new ruler of this world. Children will be his army for conquering other worlds. Madame Gazelle and parents try to save children, but they no longer recognize their loved ones. Loki creates new reality where he is king and children are his loyal subjects. Children forget their past life and serve only Loki. Their innocence is lost forever. Loki laughs looking at his new empire. He successfully captured another world. Peppa's world becomes part of Loki's domain, where deception and cunning rule everything. Loki disappears, leaving behind a distorted world where children forever became his servants. The pig family house was always full of laughter and joy, but today something has changed in the air. Peppa plays in her room when toys start moving by themselves. Teddy Bear slowly turns its head. George goes downstairs and sees his dinosaur floating in air. The toy spins without anyone's help. Mummy Pig cooks dinner, but pots start trembling on stove. Lids rise and fall by themselves. Daddy Pig reads newspaper when pages start turning without wind. His glasses fog up from cold breath. Temperature in house drops sharply and everyone sees their breath. Windows frost over on warm summer day. Ghost shows himself first time. Transparent white figure in living room corner. His empty eyes glow with cold light. Family tries to run, but doors slam shut by themselves. Ghost blocks all exits from the house. Ghost starts speaking with voice from past, telling about his life. He lived in this house many years ago. Furniture begins flying around rooms, creating chaos and fear. Ghost demonstrates his power over material world. Peppa tries to hide under bed, but Ghost passes through walls. There is no safe place anywhere. George cries and his tears turn to ice from Ghost's cold. House becomes icy prison. Ghost shows family visions of past, how he died in this house. Walls fill with his painful memories. Mummy and Daddy Pig try to protect children, but their hands pass through Ghost. Physical world is powerless against spirit. Ghost demands family to leave his house forever. He doesn't want to share his space with living. Family agrees to leave, but Ghost laughs with sinister laughter. He's not going to let them go so easily. Ghost starts absorbing warmth and life energy from family. Everyone becomes pale and weak. House transforms into icy fortress where Ghost rules supreme. Family becomes his prisoners. Ghost announces they will now live together forever, living and dead in one house. Pig family slowly transforms into ghosts, losing their humanity. Their eyes become empty and cold. House disappears from real world, moving to ghost dimension. No one will ever find Pig family again. The pig family goes for a picnic in the forest. The sun shines brightly. Birds sing cheerful songs. Peppa and George run ahead of their parents. They laugh and play between the trees happily. Suddenly, the forest becomes quieter than usual. Even the birds stop singing their melodies completely. A tall, dark figure flickers between the trees. It watches the children from a distance silently. Peppa notices a strange shadow behind a tree, but when she turns around, nobody is there. George points at a tree with a carved symbol. The strange sign frightens the little one to tears. Daddy Pig tries to calm the children with jokes, but his voice sounds uncertain and very anxious. Mummy Pig suggests returning home early today. Something in this forest deeply troubles her mind. The family turns back toward the exit path, but all trails lead deeper into the forest. The tall, faceless figure appears right before them. Slender Man extends long arms toward the children slowly. Peppa and George cannot look away from him. They slowly walk toward the strange, mysterious creature. Parents scream and try to stop their children, but their voices sound like distant echoes only. Slender Man touches with his hands. Peppa and George become his obedient servants forever. Susie Sheep comes looking for friends in forest. She also falls under Slender Man's powerful dark influence. Parents remain alone in the empty forest. Their children have disappeared without any trace forever. Slender Man leads children to his dark realm. There they will serve him for all eternity. New symbols appear on trees in forest. Slender Man prepares for his next hunting expedition carefully. Other families come to visit this forest. They don't know about the danger that awaits them. Peppa, George, and Susie help Slender Man now. They lure new children into his terrible trap. The forest becomes a cursed place forever. Slender Man rules here as the king of darkness. Nobody can save the missing children anymore. They became part of the faceless entity's army. Peppa plays in her room with favorite toys. The sun shines brightly through the window, creating cozy atmosphere. Suddenly, her reflection appears in the mirror, but something about it seems wrong and very frightening. The reflection begins moving independently from Peppa. It smiles with sinister smile she never had before. Mirror double steps out from mirror into room. It looks like Peppa, but eyes are completely empty. Double speaks with Peppa's voice strange words. It suggests switching places forever with the real Peppa. Peppa tries to run away from room, but door is locked and windows covered with strange fog. Mirror double touches Peppa with its hand. She feels her own reflection beginning to disappear slowly. Mummy Pig enters room to check daughter. She sees only one Peppa, but doesn't know which is real. Double behaves like normal Peppa does, but its smile is too wide and gaze too intense. Real Peppa tries to prove truth to Mummy, but her voice sounds like echo and body becomes transparent. George comes to play with his sister. Mirror Double hugs him, but embrace feels cold and unnatural. Double begins copying other family members. Second, George with empty eyes appears in-house. Susie Sheep comes to visit her friend. She notices that Peppa behaves very strangely and frighteningly. Mirror Double creates copy of Susie too. Now there are two identical children with dead stares. Daddy Pig returns home from work today. He doesn't understand why all family members look so creepy. Double copies Daddy Pig as well now. Real family slowly disappears, replaced by empty copies. Mummy Pig realizes horrible truth last, but it's too late. Her double already stands nearby. All real characters become ghosts now. They can only watch their copies from the side. Mirror doubles love in family house. They pretend to be happy family, but smiles frighten neighbors. Other families begin noticing strange things, but when they visit, they get replaced by doubles too. Entire town gradually fills with copies. Real residents become invisible ghosts forever and ever. Mirror Double rules town of empty copies. Nobody remembers what real people looked like anymore. Madame Gazelle's school was always a place of joy and learning. But today something has changed in the air. Peppa and her friends sit in class when windows start trembling. Strange sounds come from the corridor. Madame Gazelle goes to check the noise and doesn't return. Children remain alone in the empty classroom. The door slowly opens and an unfamiliar woman in black enters. Her eyes burn with strange light. Bellatrix. Lestrange smiles at children with her mad smile. "Want to learn real magic?" she whispers. Peppa and friends watch the magic wand mesmerized. First sparks of magic seem so beautiful. Bellatrix teaches children spells that change their toys. Teddy bears become alive and evil. Susie Sheep tries to resist, but her eyes start glowing too. Magic captures all children. Rebecca Rabbit turns her carrot into a snake. Children laugh, not understanding the danger. Bellatrix shows children how to control other people. They practice on Madame Gazelle. The teacher returns with empty eyes and mechanical movements. Children rejoice in their new power. Peppa uses magic at home, making parents fulfill her wishes. Family becomes her puppets. George also learns spells and turns his toys into army. Dinosaurs come alive and march. Bellatrix watches from shadows as children become more cruel. Her plan works perfectly. The town gradually falls under control of wizard children. Adults lose their will. Peppa and friends create new rules for the town. Now children command everything. Bellatrix opens portal to Dark World and summons her allies. Army of dark wizards arrives. Children realize they were used, but it's too late. Their magic is bound to dark forces. Bellatrix laughs, looking at destroyed world of childhood. Her mission to spread darkness is complete. The town transforms into Dark Fortress, where children serve new mistress. Innocence is lost forever. Bellatrix disappears through portal, leaving behind world where children became her dark students forever.